month trial at shopify.com/listen.
All right, folks, welcome back from the commercial break. I always love going to consumers research because about every couple of days you go and you see a story and you're like, oh, that can't be true. And then you read it like, it is true. Oh my gosh. Wake up, America. Get smart. Get on top of the news. One of those, new revelations from consumer research this week. I'm not making this up, but, you're going to have to let it sink in for a second because when you hear it, you're going to go, oh, you gotta be kidding me. Microsoft was caught using engineers in communist China to maintain the Pentagon's computer systems. You heard me right. We hired Chinese communist engineers to take care of the Pentagon's computer systems via the contractor Microsoft. I don't know what to say other than, wow. The man who brought that revelation and many more like it is joining us right now. He's the Executive Director of Consumers Research. He's a good friend of the show, Will Hild. Will, good to have you back on.
It's great to be with you.
Okay. I'm afraid to ask this question, but how in God's name did this happen?
It's pretty incredible. I mean, it almost, it's like you have to suspend disbelief to think that Microsoft would do this insanity. But basically what was happening is that to save money, Microsoft was using mainland Chinese coders, people that are under the dominion of the Chinese Communist Party and are ethnically Chinese as well, ostensibly, to maintain the DoD's computer systems. And their only safeguard against all of the obvious things that one could do nefariously against those systems was they had minders, basically like people supposedly watching over the coders here in the United States. But the problem was those people themselves were not as good as coders as the people doing the work. And I know that to be true because if they were as good, you would just hire them instead.
That's right. That's
so
what you
by
would do.
definition, they had people that were not as good watching people who were better. And who knows what they were able to slip in.
It's pretty crazy. And we're just learning today of more Chinese hacks of the Energy Department, the Nuclear Weapons Agency. So this level of disregard has real life consequences. China every day is looking for every vulnerability to penetrate us. What have we learned about who is responsible? How does this happen? Is there anyone going to be held accountable? Where do we go next?
Well, Secretary of Defense Hegseth has already stated that they have terminated that program, or they forced Microsoft to terminate that program. So hopefully there are no more Chinese coders maintaining Defense Department mainframes. What I would hope would come out of this was a review of the entire contract with Microsoft. If they were willing to cut corners on such an important contract like this, should they even be maintaining any systems for the federal government at all, even outside of the Department of Defense? I mean, should they be maintaining, the Social Security Administration or even, DMV records? If they can't be trusted to the basics, why would we let them? And this really speaks to a problem that's been going on at Microsoft. They doubled down on DEI even after Donald Trump was elected and put out the executive orders pushing back on DEI. They have said that this is basically a core commitment of the company and cannot be changed. So in addition to that being a violation of federal civil rights law and labor law, discriminating based on race and sex, what it means is that they basically are accepting that they cannot run Microsoft without outsourcing and claiming that it's because of DEI, but the real reason is they want to undercut U.S. coder wages. And we see the consequences of that. So I think this is a company we raised the alarm about months ago when they doubled down on DEI. But I think this example, this is just, it really is almost hard to articulate how wrong this is and bad and potentially catastrophic for our country. We could lose a war over this one thing itself.
Yeah, it really is so amazing. And the Chinese know their great strength is their patience. And our great weakness is our lack of attention span here. And I think in these matters, no one is thinking about the Chinese threat. Well, all right, we cancel this program, but I don't think we've yet succeeded at canceling the mindset that China is still our friend. They're not an enemy. Too many people, particularly those who went to college, seem to have this really distorted view that China's still our friend, that they're still a third world country that needs special trade privileges in the United States. How do we begin the process of making sure more Americans understand the true nature of the Chinese threat, their true assertive behavior against us, and stop having their guard down when something like this comes up?
I think that's a fantastic question, actually. And I think one of the big things we can do is detach the incentives for dealing with them from corporate America. I mean, part of the problem we've got is corporate America has been all too keen to sell out U.S. interests in order to get access to either cheap labor in China or to their burgeoning emerging markets. So that's number one. Two, this is not something I work on directly, but going through the states, there's been some fantastic work being done banning the Chinese Communist Party from owning land, banning them from having lobbyists in our state houses, which is something that in a lot of states they can currently do, or they can use cutouts, companies that are directly CCP owned. I think banning that or making them disclosed when they're representing a Chinese Communist Party owned company is also a great step. And what we really need to do is we have too many elites in this country whose nests are feathered by the Chinese Communist Party, and we have to root that out.
Yeah, no, it is such an important part of the strategy, and it's often not discussed at all. I mean, we're getting some of it in Congress now, but it's so important. All right, you do so many other fun, meaningful, and informative things. One of those is your Woke Watch series. You're always looking at companies whose values are not aligned with maybe their customers' values. Your latest one, I believe, is Dish Network. Tell us what you found out about Dish Network and DEI.
Well, they are knee deep in wokeness. They have integrated DEI into everything they've done by their own admission. This is a company that, ostensibly is supposed to be a, telecom service, and yet they are pushing wokeness across their entire spectrum. So we called them out. As you know, we have a service called Woke Alerts. It's a once a week text message service people can sign up for at consumersresearch.org. We won't bombard you, but about once a week, we'll give you a company that's gone woke or is woke and a way to push back on them. We want to make sure that the point of this is not just to get you upset about something you can't do anything about. It's about empowering consumers to push back on these companies. So if you go sign up now at consumersresearch.org, you'll start, being able to push back via email, cell phone, other, sometimes on X and social media on these companies. And it does have an impact. One thing we've learned over the last 2 years, especially with Budweiser and Target, is there is a reservoir of consumer frustration. And when you unleash that on a company, they pay a significant consequence and they do make changes. So it is important that consumers never feel helpless. I know it's annoying and frustrating to hear things like the news we brought to you today about Microsoft, but your actions, your individual actions do make an impact. And so we recommend everyone join us on our Woke Alerts at consumersresearch.org.
Such a great idea. And we have learned that the power of our wallet, that we can vote with our wallet. We don't have to just wait for the election ballot box every 2 years. Voting with our wallet is also a powerful thing. And you're giving people the data points to make those decisions. Every dollar matters. And I was surprised by some of the language and some of the corporate policies that you had dug up on this. It was news to me, and I tend to think I know a lot about it. So it was really great to see that great work. For folks who want to follow your work every day, because you're doing stuff every day that is so important, what's the best coordinates on social media, on the website? Give people a way to dig in anytime they want.
Absolutely. They can visit our website at consumersresearch.org, or they can visit me on X at Will Hild. That's at WILLHILD on X, formerly known as Twitter.
Pretty exciting. I love it. All right, my friend. We'll get a quick connection next month with you. You'll have a lot more fun things, but congratulations on both of these things, the China story and the Microsoft story. Just jaw-dropping. I don't know what to say other than it's just jaw-dropping. It's amazing. Great to have you on. We'll talk real soon.
Thanks so much. Great to be with you.
Thanks, Will. Appreciate your great work all the time.
Take care.
All right, folks, be sure to go